Hello, how are you all doing? I'm Aki, and I narrate the stories you send me. You've probably already seen today's title and thumbnail, so you know what this story is about. I can promise you this one won't disappoint, because it's the kind of horror story that keeps you hooked from start to finish. Personally, I loved it. But that's just my opinion. I'd love to hear yours in the comments. One thing I should warn you. This story is going to be truly terrifying. If you're easily scared, say a little prayer or do whatever makes you feel safe. Because when we speak of them, they don't appear before us, but they can come close, so close you might hear them whispering right into your ears. And if that happens, make sure you protect yourself. Now, let's dive into our story. Asterisk. Aki, I don't know if you'll believe me, but what I'm about to tell you is the scariest thing that's ever happened to me in my life. That had happened in a small American town called Ravens Hollow, a place where the streets are quiet, and at night, the wind feels like it's whispering secrets from one house to another. Aki, this all started the night I decided to stay at my late grandmother's old house. It had been empty for 6 months since she passed away. I thought maybe I could spend just one night there, go through some memories, and find that old photo album she always kept locked away. When I reached the gate, a strange, damp breeze hit my face. As soon as I stepped inside, I could smell the dust of old furniture mixed with the faint scent of lavender perfume. The same perfume my grandmother used to wear. It was like she was still somewhere in the house watching. I pulled out my phone and texted my friend, "Made it here. Feels weird, like someone's watching me." The reply came instantly, "Don't freak yourself out. Do what you need to do and get out." But deep inside, I knew there was something there. Something heavier than silence. Then suddenly, from upstairs, I heard footsteps, slow, heavy, one after another. My heart started racing. The house was locked. No one else could have been inside. I grabbed an old brass candle holder from the coffee table and took a slow step toward the staircase. And then, Aki, I heard it. A woman's voice, soft, trembling. "Emily, you came back." Asterisk. Aki. That voice froze my blood. I gripped the candle holder tighter. The voice was soft, but it felt like it was right next to my ear. I gathered my courage and called out, "Who's there?" No answer. Only the faint creak of footsteps on the stairs. I started climbing, one step at a time. The higher I went, the colder it got, like the chill wasn't just in the air, but sinking into my bones. At the top, I saw a long corridor. At the far end, there was an old room. The door was half open. Inside it was dark, but in one corner, a dim red glow flickered. Like the ember of a dying fire, I slowly pushed the door open. Aki, my heart stopped. In the middle of the room was an old rocking chair, moving back and forth on its own. I forced myself to step closer. That faint red glow was coming from the floor. There, lying in the dust, was an old photograph. In the picture was my grandmother, and a strange woman I had never seen before. She wasn't smiling. She wasn't even looking at my grandmother. She was staring directly through the camera, straight into my eyes. And then, Aki, that same woman's voice. Right behind me, "Emily, you shouldn't have come here." Asterisk. Aki. After that voice, my feet felt glued to the floor. I slowly turned around, and my breath caught in my throat. By the door stood a shadow. I couldn't make out the details of a face, but the height, the posture. It was exactly like the woman in the photograph. The room's temperature dropped, so fast that I could see mist forming from my breath. The shadow began moving toward me, step by step. Each time it moved, the floorboards creaked. But it wasn't a sound of human footsteps. It was hollow, deep, and felt like it came from another world. I tried to scream, but my voice wouldn't come out. The candlelight began to flicker and dim. Then, the shadow stopped right in front of me. The only thing I could see clearly were two glowing red eyes, staring deep into my soul. Suddenly, everything in the room began to shake. The rocking chair moved violently, scratch marks appeared on the walls, and that woman's voice. She gave a faint smile and whispered, "You'll never leave this place alive." Asterisk. The moment those words left her lips, the candle went out plunging the room into complete darkness. I could hear her breathing now. Slow, steady, but so close, it felt like she was right next to my ear. My heart was pounding so hard, I thought it might burst out of my chest. Then, something cold brushed against my hand. I froze. It wasn't just cold, it felt wet, like touching something that had been in the ground for years. "Aki." Her voice slithered through the dark. "Do you know what it feels like to be buried alive?" I stumbled backward, trying to find the door. My hand searched the wall, but all I could feel were scratches, deep, long grooves, like someone had clawed their way through. The floor beneath me began to shift, creaking louder with every step. And then, I realized it wasn't the floor. Something was moving under it, crawling, scratching. The smell hit me next to rotting, suffocating stench that made my eyes water. That's when I felt a hand-thin, bony fingers wrap around my ankle. I screamed and kicked free, slamming my back into the wall. In the faint moonlight coming through the cracked window, I saw them. Not just her, but dozens of them. Shadows with those same glowing eyes, all moving toward me. And then, I heard her voice again, echoing from every corner of the room. "You were never meant to leave Raven's Hollow." Asterisk. I ran towards the door with all my strength. But the moment I grabbed the handle, it turned ice cold and swung open by itself. Ahead was a long, dark hallway. Old pictures hung on the walls, each one featuring the same woman. But in every photo, her eyes grew redder, and her smile more sinister. At the end of the hallway, I saw a faint light. Hopeful, I moved closer, but the light flickered, then went out completely. In the darkness, I heard her voice close to my ear. "I told you, Michael, you will never leave this place." Suddenly, the ground gave way beneath my feet. I started falling into a dark pit. As I fell, I looked up. She and dozens of shadows stood at the edge, staring down, all of them smiling together. My body hit something hard. I looked around. This was an old, narrow grave. Broken wooden planks, scratch marks on the walls. Then dirt started falling on me, first slowly, then faster, until it was so thick I could barely breathe. I screamed, flailed my arms and legs, but from above I heard her laughter. The last thing I heard was her whisper, "Welcome to Raven's Hollow. Now you're one of us, Michael." And then, silence. Asterisk. As the dirt kept pouring down on me, my hand suddenly struck something cold and metallic. It was an old iron chain, probably part of some forgotten well bucket. I grabbed it with all my strength and swung my body to the side, then crawled through a narrow hole in the grave's wall to escape. My bones were aching. My hands were wounded and my clothes were torn, but I kept crawling. Minutes felt like hours. Then suddenly, a cold breeze brushed against my face. I gathered my last bit of strength and emerged into the forest under the moonlit sky. I looked back at the old house, silent and dark, as if nothing had happened. But I knew whatever was inside was still watching me. I ran straight to my car, started the engine, and sped miles away into the night. But when I got home and opened my bag, there was still dirt on my clothes, and in my pocket, a rusty old locket. When I opened it, inside was a faded photo of that woman, and beneath it, a chilling message. "See you soon, Michael." Asterisk. So friends, if you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more thrilling tales coming your way. And if you have a real scary or mysterious experience, something that happened to you or someone, Send it to the email in the description below. I'll narrate your story and give you full credit. Stay safe and beware, because the stories of Raven's Hollow never truly end.